Okay, great. So I see Edwin's talk has got good competition. But yeah, all right. So today I want to tell you about what's coming in WordPress 5.0. Now WordPress 5.0 is actually just around the corner. It is literally like 2 weeks away. So originally they had planned to release it on Monday, on the 19th. But there were a bit of delays, so they pushed it back a little bit. And I'm sure it's going to be out by the end of the year. So this, I hope, is really relevant and really timely. Okay? So as Renee said, I'm one of the organizers for the WordCamp. I didn't expect to be on stage today. But I put this talk together in 1 day. So hopefully, please bear with me if it's not perfect. Okay. You know what? This thing is broke already. Oh gosh. Okay, fine. Okay, so my internet nickname is Blog Junkie. Back then, you know, blogs were very big, but now blogs not not popular anymore. So, and then Facebook Junkie is taken. So I'm the Blog Junkie. I run a company called ClickWP, and we provide WordPress tech support for bloggers and small business owners. All right, I've been a WordPress user for a long time. I also helped organize the KL WordPress meetup that Rindy was talking about, and that's it. So I've got a few slides like this. So if you want to share something from my talk, you know, I prompt you with a slide like this and a hashtag. This means that you can snap a picture and put it on Twitter, Instagram with the hashtag, right? And here's an example of the slide. WordPress 5.0 will introduce a big change to the post editor. Okay, so that's the post editor that I'm talking about is where you go to write new post, or add a new page, or add a new product, and that's the post editor that we've been using for the past 10 years. So WordPress 5.0, when you upgrade and then you go and add a new post, you will see something completely different. All right, and I'm telling you so that you won't get a big shock and get upset with the big change. All right, this post editor, the new post editor, is called Gutenberg. Okay, so it's nicknamed Gutenberg. We've heard Tashka speak about Gutenberg today, and basically Gutenberg is just a code name. When within WordPress, they won't refer to it as Gutenberg, but you hear a lot of people talking about the Gutenberg editor, but the official name will actually be the new post editor, or maybe even block editor. All right. So here's the post editor that we all know, and we love, or we love to hate. And when you upgrade to WordPress 5.0, it will change to this. Okay, so it looks different, and it also works pretty differently. And I'm going to attempt a live demo for you guys later. Okay, but before that, I just want to step back first and talk a bit about what's the problem with the editor? Why do we need to upgrade this editor? Okay, so in a typical blog post or a web page today, we want to text. Plain text is not enough. Text and images is not enough. And we increasingly want to put rich media into our blog posts and pages. So we've got audio and video. That's pretty easy. We solve quite easily. We can embed content from YouTube, embed content from SoundCloud, and actually now you can even embed content from Twitter or Facebook. But then things get more complicated. Maybe you want to add tables, tables with multiple columns. You want to add a button. Do you know how difficult it is to add a button in WordPress? You've got to install a plugin first before you can add a button to the WordPress post editor. Sometimes you're going to have code snippets, for those who want to share code, like, if you're a bit more technical like Lorna, you're going to share code snippets. And then testimonials, if you have a business website and you want to tell, you have a page of happy clients, so you're going to have some testimonials. If business websites typically also have our team members, about us, and then about David, about Rindy, about Sam, and so on. You may also want to have outlets, locations where you can find us, and you want to embed a map into your post or your page, right? And then all sorts of other things, bells and whistles like accordions, tabs, show and hide, and stuff like that. Okay? And the thing is, as we want to add more and more rich media, it gets more and more complicated. And then new people who come to WordPress feel that, why is it so complicated? And to prove my point, do you know that adding testimonials to WordPress is the most complicated thing ever? Okay? Because you would think that adding a testimonial is simple. You just some text, an image, the name of the person, and style it a bit, and it will look okay. But in reality, there are so many steps. Okay. First of all, you got to go find a good plugin. All right. So then you have to spend time googling which is the best plugin, reviews of the plugin. You find all the spam in Google results. Who's which one is better. And then I like this plugin called Strong Testimonials. I mean, after many hours of researching plugins, I decided that Strong Testimonials is the best plugin. But even then, it's still a lot of steps. You got to install the testimonial, and then when, let's say I'm on the services page and I want to put the testimonial on the services page, I still can't do it. I got to go and create new testimonial first. Create new testimonial, and then add the testimonial to a group, and then make a short code for the group. And then after that, I go back to the original services page, put the short code in there, and then I have to preview, and then I change the settings, preview, and then change the settings before I can get the testimonial looking the way that I want. So for new WordPress users, there's a lot of concepts here. They have to, first of all, understand what is a plugin. I have to install a plugin. How do I install a plugin? Oh, after I install, I still need to click activate. Why? I mean, I already installed. Why do I need to activate it some more? Then after that, you have to learn, the user has to learn that I want to add a testimonial to this page, but actually I have to create a testimonial on another page first. And then I have to know what is a short code. So a lot of steps. I tell you, creating testimonials in WordPress is at crisis level. Okay, so here's where I do the demo, and I want to show you how easy it is, or how relatively easy it is to create a testimonial with Gutenberg. Okay, hang on, I gotta... Okay, so what I'm doing here now, I'm creating a page called Our Happy Clients. And so here is basically this is the Gutenberg editor. It's in Gutenberg, we use the concept of blocks. So every piece of content on the page is a block. So if I'm typing this here, this paragraph is actually a block. Okay. And you can move blocks up and down by clicking the buttons like this, or you can drag and drop them. That, okay. Blocks have settings. Okay, so up here you can change the alignment. All right, and at the side here you have even more settings. You can change the text size. You can add a drop cap. Okay, and you have color settings. And you can change the background color, and even change the text color. Okay, so this is just an overview of how the blocks system works in Gutenberg. All right, so just now I said creating testimonials is a lot easier. So let's see how that works. First, you can click the add a block button, and then now I'm going to search for testimonials. Alright, so and then I can put a name. And I can also upload an image. So I don't have I didn't plan that image, so I'll just choose a random one here. Okay, luckily this can work. And that's it. So now we have got a testimonial, and it's right there on the page. I didn't have to go and add new testimonials first, and I didn't have to figure out shortcodes and stuff like that. It's right here on the page. And because this is a Gutenberg block, it has built-in settings. I can even change the font size. I can change the alignment, and I can change the background color. Okay, here's our WordCamp green. Alright, so there are a bit of, it's a bit rough around the edges. The alignment here is not perfect, but I think you can see how creating something like testimonials is a lot simpler compared to the previous paradigm using shortcodes and stuff like that. Okay? I can even duplicate the shortcode, and that makes the job a lot easier as well. Okay. And the great thing about Gutenberg is that you can add additional blocks. Okay, so I showed you, we just had a quick look at Gutenberg, and we had a look at the text block, and then we saw a testimonials block. But you can add all sorts of blocks by installing plugins. Okay, so you install a plugin that will enable additional blocks. So for example, you can add accordion block, tabs block. You can insert a block for GitHub gist code to show that on your web page. And right now, the way that it works is that you install a plugin, and it will enable multiple blocks, more than one block. So you can have like install the Atomic Blocks plugin that will add like 10 new blocks to Gutenberg. Now the blocks can be pretty powerful as well, okay, because so here's an example of something that the Gutenberg plugin can do. Google has got these rich snippets. Okay, so sometimes when you do a search on Google, then you will see a result like this. You know, instead of the regular search results, it shows you the image and then the information right there in the search results. So this is called a rich snippet. Now, to do a rich snippet requires quite a bit of custom HTML code. You've got, specifically, I think you have to write JSON LD. That's the format that Google expects. Now, you know, regular people, and even myself, to be honest, I have no idea what JSON LD is. Okay, but thankfully, you know, if you use the Yoast SEO plugin, the Yoast SEO plugin installs this how-to block, and the how-to block, basically, you add the block, and then you can create steps, and then you can add the time needed for the block. You can add an image to each step, and it will output the information to the web page as a how-to with steps like this. But it will also create that JSON LD code that Google needs to display a rich snippet like that. So basically, Gutenberg helps you with your SEO as well, or can help you with your SEO as well. So to summarize, every piece of content in the new editor is a block, right? And you can add more blocks via plugins. Blocks will become the language of WordPress and could even replace widgets. Okay, so one thing, I work with a lot of small businesses and bloggers, and one thing that a lot of them struggle to understand is that, okay, if you want to edit this part of the page, you have to go to add posts, edit pages, and so on. If you want to edit this part of the page, you have to use widgets, go to appearance widgets. And then at the bottom of the page is also appearance widgets. So it's like they have to understand a lot of these other extra concepts. So, but with Gutenberg, the blocks become the language of WordPress, and instead of adding a widget to the sidebar, you can actually add a block to the sidebar. And I'm saying this is the future, this is what they plan. This is from the Gutenberg handbook. They already planned this, and in fact, Matt Mullenweg has already also shared some ideas about that. Okay, so the Gutenberg handbook says it is very possible for Gutenberg to grow beyond the confines of post and page content to include the whole page, including everything that surrounds the content. And Matt Mullenweg has said with his own, out of his own mouth, that when WordPress uses the block concept for widgets, uses the block concept for menus, and then everything becomes a lot simpler for new users to understand. All they need to know, they just need to understand how blocks work. Blocks you add it to the page, and then there are settings on the side. And then after that, you can change the content for the main content, as well as the sidebar content, the header content. So here's a bit of a brag, but WordPress 5.0 will have the most advanced content editor on the web. Okay, and just for some fun, here is Blogger. All right, so Blogger has got a very it looks similar to the existing post editor in WordPress, but in Blogger's sites, it's very easy to get the formatting wrong. Like for example, like there's extra small text here, and like the tweet here doesn't appear as a tweet here, and Blogger is just a headache. This is Medium. Medium's editor is a very nice experience for writing, but it's quite limited just to writing. Okay, you cannot add a lot more blocks. They have you can add videos, you can add images, you can add embeds, but that's about it. You can't add a testimonial, you can't add a how-to step-by-step like I mentioned, you can't add accordion show and hide, you can't add tabs with Medium. I didn't check out Wix, so does anybody know if Wix and Gutenberg, how does it look? No Wix fans here, right? Good. Okay. And I mean, Gutenberg is so potentially powerful that other CMS is also looking to integrate with Gutenberg. Alright? So Drupal is one of the competitors to WordPress. And you know what? They are trying to use Gutenberg inside of Drupal. So what began as a WordPress project, another competitor is like, hey, that's a good idea, let's try and use it too. So I don't think it's really bragging to say that WordPress has the most most powerful content editor in the web. But okay, really, maybe I'm getting a little too excited, right? And it's true because before we are in the world of blocks and everything is so easy and then we are so empowered, there's going to be quite a few challenges to overcome. Alright? So coming to WordPress 5.0, in about 2 weeks, you get a new block editor. You have to learn you have to learn to do things differently. You have incompatibility with themes and plugins. You have missing features and possible bugs. And you have frustration. So this is coming to you in the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much. That's my presentation. Just kidding. Okay, it's not all that bad. All right. So there's quite some promise to Gutenberg. So here's some example of those problems here. So this one here is a theme forest theme, and Gutenberg is broken. This one here to select the sidebar is at the top, and there's a big empty space here. And then you have stuff like this. Updating failed. Cloudflare is blocking the REST API request. That was new. I've never seen that before, but I encountered that last week. And so, like I said, the transition, is not going to be smooth sailing, or the transition may not be smooth sailing. It can be smooth sailing, right? If you pay attention for the next 5 minutes, it can be smooth sailing. there's two main points that I wanted to tell you in this talk. The first main point is that a big change is coming, and the second point is how to prepare. Okay, so I think it's quite easy how to prepare for Gutenberg. The first thing to do is to try Gutenberg now, so that you know how it will affect your website. Okay, and the way that you can try Gutenberg now is you go and install a plugin. You go to Add Plugins, you type in Gutenberg, and then you click Install, and then after that, don't forget you have to click Activate as well. All right, so that will now install Gutenberg on your website, and then you have Gutenberg on your website, even though it's not yet WordPress 5.0. Okay, so this gives you an idea. This should work exactly the same as WordPress 5.0. So you can activate this plugin, and then you can go and create a new post, create a new page, try and add a testimonial, try and do your translations, and see how Gutenberg affects all of that. I would say that 90% Gutenberg will work without problem. Okay, so 90% Gutenberg will work without problem. But there's still that 10%, right? So what do we do? Okay, so first thing to do would be to upgrade your themes and plugins. All right. So Gutenberg has been in development since January 2017. At WordCamp 2017, yep, last year we were already talking about Gutenberg. So Gutenberg is like almost 2 years old. They've been developing it, and if the regular user doesn't know what Gutenberg is, developers and theme builders, plugin builders definitely know what Gutenberg is. So they would have time to prepare. And if you upgrade your themes and plugins, that might fix the issue. All right. So this is the Divi theme, and the Divi theme is a very popular theme. Anybody here use Divi? Divi, right? Okay. Now Divi has got its own page builder, right? So how is it going to compete with Gutenberg? So Divi has now figured out a solution. They're not going to compete. They allow you to choose. So you can create a page, create a post, and then you can choose to use the default editor. And the default editor, which they mean is the new WordPress block editor, or also known as Gutenberg. Okay. So step 2 is to update your themes and plugins. Those of you who use pirated themes and plugins, maybe consider investing, buy the original one so you get the upgrade. Okay, then also you have no viruses, that's good. And step 3, now if everything doesn't work for you, okay, if you install it and the site is like completely unusable, all right, so here's an example. This is the client site, and this is using Enfold. Anybody here use Enfold theme? Enfold theme, nice, okay. So, and you know Enfold has got this Avia layout builder, right? So if you install Gutenberg, here's what happens. And then you'll be like, what's going on? Okay, so if this happens to you, all right, and then you are not able to go and change all the pages, you know. So the solution for that is you install this thing called the Classic Editor plugin. Now, the people who develop WordPress, they know that not everybody is going to be ready for Gutenberg. So they have released this Classic Editor plugin, and this will make the editor go back to the old editor, Classic Editor. All right. So this means this will continue to work. Visual Composer will continue to work. Anything that you used before will continue to work, just like it was in WordPress 4.9.8. Okay. There's also other plugins like Disable Gutenberg, but I mean, I think you should do the official one. This is the official one, Classic Editor by WordPress contributors. Okay. So this is a final takeaway I want to share with you guys, that the Gutenberg editor is the future of WordPress. You know, in a few years' time, everything that we do is going to be a block. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about widgets and shortcodes. You know, but in the future, all of that is going to be take the back seat, and we are going to then move on to blocks. Everything is going to be a block. All right. The speaker after me, Prasad, he's going to talk about how to develop for Gutenberg. So I'm very excited to learn about that. Prasad is right there, Rini, don't worry. Okay, the Gutenberg editor is the future of WordPress. So if you're building a site now, if your site now doesn't work with Gutenberg, I suggest that you plan to upgrade it sometime in the future. All right, it doesn't have to be today, tomorrow. All right, but I mean, if you want to buy a phone, you wouldn't buy a phone with less features. Like let's say for example, my old phone was the iPhone 6s, and I now upgraded to the iPhone 10s. And I mean, I'm not going to go from a 6s to a Samsung S6. I would get a S9, right, or a 10s. So when you are building your site right now and you want to upgrade your site, I also suggest that you look to the future and plan to have a Gutenberg-friendly site. Because like I said, Gutenberg is the future of WordPress. In the future, everything is going to be all about blocks. And if you don't get with the program, then you're going to be left behind. All right. Now, WordPress 1.0 to today sort of feels like mobile phones of the 2000s. All right. Who had a Nokia 3310? Right, lasted forever. Or one battery charge lasts like 3 days, right? And I mean, I don't want you to think that WordPress 5.0 is going to be the future. I mean, Samsung recently announced foldable screens and stuff like that. Yes, WordPress 5.0 is going to be the foundation for the future, but I think WordPress 5.0 is not the future yet. It's more like this. WordPress 5.0 is sort of a in-between stage before future WordPress, and we're gonna have all of these amazing new features. The in-between stage for phones, like the Trio. I want to be a touchscreen, but I still want to have a keypad, right? And all of them are like that. And I want a big screen, and I still want a keypad. So WordPress 5.0 I think is going to be a bit like that. The experience, and there will be a bit of rough edges. There will be a bit of frustration. But I mean, the future looks good. The future looks bright for WordPress. Okay, and that's it. That's it for my talk. Thank you very much. And if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.